All right, I've got it all cut out, all the old sheet metal and junk off of it, off the trunk, and got all my holes ready to be spot welded back in. Everything cleaned up. This panel up here I replaced, and I had a bunch of rot holes in it. Got everything, all the old excess sheet metal off of it. So now comes the fun part. Trying to make everything fit now, because none of this stuff fit. None. I mean, it was, everything is, you got to cut it, bend it, add on to it. There's the floor. Getting ready to put it in. I got it wiped off a little bit. But I'm going to have to, all this has got to be cut off at a certain weird, crazy angle. And it's got to, this is the piece that I got to remove on, let me see, it's on the rocker. Oh, but the other, this here was for a different year, which would normally come from here and go all the way up to here and be welded under here. But this car has been back cut. It's a different year car. I guess this panel fits a bunch of year cars, but these are the things that I've got to do. I got to hack that off and figure out where it's got to go, and just get hammering and bending and scraping and clamping and measuring, and man, I don't know if this car is ever going to end. But if I get this done, both these pieces put in, and then I'll have to go up to the front and do, this is all rotted. This is underneath the car where the hinges bolts into this. This is part of the front end. That bolts into there. And as you can see, there ain't nothing there. You know, everything's all gone and falling apart. This side over here is even rotted. I got to make a bar. There's a floating bar that goes in there, is what the bolts bolt into. And I'm hoping, once I get this done, and that side over there, in the trunk, I think that's going to be all the welding I have to do on this, and then I can start sanding all this putty off, which he wanted me to try to take it off with paint remover, but there ain't enough paint remover in the world to get this crap off. I mean, this is really thick. You can see just how bad it is. But so I'm going to have to hit this car with, I don't know, I guess 36 grit to sand this stuff off and make it shiny, and that'll make the primer stick to it real good. Yeah, you can see just how thick the putty is. That's pretty daggone thick. I know you're supposed to, they smear a coat and then sand it, but man, it's I just never could put this much putty on a car before, but that's exactly what they did. Just smeared putty over it and then sanded the putty. And you know, if you're doing a really fine tuning car, it's good, but you just take a chance in the putty cracking. So I don't know, I have to think about it if I want to go that far, and if I need to. Sometimes you need to, because the body just isn't straight enough to try to make anything out of it with, you know, using a real thin batch. So you have to put a pretty good coating on it and then block it in order to make it, you know, to correct all the waves and things that go along with making these cars. You know, this is early 60s, so they weren't, I don't think they had really good body lines and when they built the cars, you know, so they had to make the car smooth and correct the body lines and hide all the welds and do it all with putty. That's what it looks like. But I'll show you. This is another place up in here I had to fix, weld a patch in. It's all hidden from the seat, but I tried to make it, when I get through with it, I'm trying to do it to it doesn't look like it's been fixed. So that seems to be what I try to do. Sometimes it's not possible, but I think it'll be okay. Well, I'll show you what it looks like once I get the panel put in. And we'll see how much trouble it's going to be. All right, till next time. Later.